IRL trading in Hypixel Skyblock is a relatively big issue. Now, some people might argue that you can pay to win anyway just through Hypixel. So what's so bad about IRL trading? Now, for those of you who don't know, IRL trading is basically paying real-life money for an in-game item or currency. Wait, this still sounds similar to buying gems. Well, that's because it is. People decide to buy coins or items from other people rather than Hypixel for real-life money, which is strictly against Hypixel's rules. Now, this sort of thing happens in pretty much every other game, so it's not like it's specific to Hypixel. Now, the biggest issue with IRL trading is the way that the coins or items are actually obtained to then sell. Now, of course, it's against TOS, and that is obviously a big issue. The majority of the IRL trades that go down aren't just people selling their account or items or coins because they don't want to play the game anymore. The majority is calculated and basically just a black market. How do you expect people selling billions of coins a day to, well, get so many coins? Well, one of the ways is basically by ratting people and then stealing everything they have and then selling it for real money. Others might have macros. You name it. Those coins that are IRL traded for the vast majority of situations are not obtained through legitimate means. So the huge glaring issue isn't the fact that maybe someone's got some coins for cheaper and is running the risk of getting banned. It's more the impact that it has on the game, maybe cheating or macroing or other people in the forms of ratting. So let's investigate. But just before we do, at the moment, we're actually trying to beat the population of Andorra with subscribers. The population of Andorra is around about 80,000 people, and once we get 80,000 subscribers, we'll be visiting Andorra, and we'll be able to claim that we have more subscribers in the population of the whole country, which would be pretty cool, so make sure to subscribe to make that happen. Also, if you are planning on purchasing anything from the Hypixel store, make sure to use code NITROS, it gets yourself 5% off. You should join the Discord server, it's linked in the description of this video. We offer slayers and dungeon carries, so if you need carries or want to carry and make some coins, make sure to join. Now, regardless of the fact that IRL trading is against Hypixel TOS both for the buyer and the seller, lots and lots of people still opt to buy coins rather than buy gems because they feel they're getting better value for money. The reality is, while some people may get away with it, a lot of people definitely don't and shouldn't. A lot of the time, the people who actually buy coins and IRL trade usually end up with items that they just shouldn't really have, and it's bad for the game. But we'll get into that in just a little bit. Now, just to show the magnitude and on what sort of scale we're talking about when it comes to IRL trading, I've come to some random website. So they're selling 10 million coins for 45 cents. And as you can see, they have 2,658 units available, which is a total of 1,150 US dollars and is the equivalent of 26.6 billion coins. What's also interesting is the way that they actually transfer the coins, you know, get the coins from A to B. And they list quite a few different methods, one being a face-to-face trade, diamond blocks trade, another one through, I believe, bizarre manipulation, auction house, which is just listing things for really high and then them being bought up, which is the simplest way, which I assume is probably, because it's listed as the simplest way, probably the most popular way. And yeah, that kind of checks out because the AH is a little bit crazy sometimes with stuff like this. Drill method, not sure what that entails. Gemstone armor method, also I'm not sure what that really entails. Some other seller has $4,000 worth, which is 100 billion coins. This guy's got $5,000 worth, 100 billion coins again. Like, what the hell is this? So, as I was saying before, you know, about it not usually just being, you know, average Joe's finished playing Skyblock and decided to sell his stuff or his account. No, it's usually pretty organised. And when I was saying before about people usually obtaining the coins and items through illegitimate ways to then, well, sell the coins for real life money, I think this is just kind of the nail in the coffin. And as I was talking about the impacts before, I know Reddit, the greatest and most reliable website ever. So this is my profile. I'm kind of new to the game and I was struggling with coins until I saw someone advertising selling some, so I went and spent a few bucks to get a couple of 100 mil. What do I do now? I mean, that in itself is the issue. If you've just started your profile, you shouldn't just skip and have a few 100 mil. I mean, I guess you could still do that if you wanted to buy gems. But for those of you who were wondering, you know, like where the hype nons come from, sure, this is not what happens every single time, but there'll be a good percentage that, you know, this is probably how they're born. Now, just going back to this post, someone told him to wait for the ban, and then he said he didn't know it was bad, which is actually fair, you know, because this is pretty normal in a lot of other games, you know, buying coins, or basically IRL trading. Bro bought coins 2 other times and still hasn't banned. It seems like they can't detect me. Maybe he's right, I don't think he is, but I mean, the game is pay to win regardless. You can literally just buy gems. But it's more the issue of what you're funding when you're buying coins. And obviously, of course, the fact that there's a pretty good chance that you're going to end up getting banned and it's disallowed. You know, the bottom line is that there's people out there that will sell coins day in, day out, all day, every day. You know, they have to source those coins. And it's impossible to even make minimum wage if you were thinking of simply playing Skyblock and then selling the coins. Considering most of those guys were selling 10 million coins for 40 cents, even if you could make 50 million coins an hour, that's actually $2 an hour. So even if you actually never slept and somehow was some sort of mutation, then that would be $48 per day. If you know, did 8 hours like you were to do a normal 9 to 5, that's $16 a day. So that really does put it into perspective, how it's pretty much impossible for any of these big IRL traders to actually be sourcing the coins legitimately, especially if they can sustainably sell the coins. But what actual impact does it have on the game? Well, let's talk about that a bit more. I mean, you've got people that will just straight up get banned. You've got people who might spend money on actual gems or might just be fed up with IRL trading and paying to win in general, and that kind of just get a bit burnt out because, you know, they actually play the game for the coins. And to be honest, there's not really anything that bad about paying to win a little bit if you have the money to waste. But because the coins and items are so cheap and devalued when you go ahead and buy coins, essentially off the black market, it means that the average purchase leads to whoever's buying the coins gaining a ton of items and coins, which is just bad for the game, because those people who buy all of this stuff shouldn't really usually have it at their stage of the game. Like I said, most people are relatively early a game. When you have level 100s running about with Hyperions, there's a bit of an issue. Now you might just be thinking, well, surely people just get banned and none of this is even relevant. Well, that kind of depends on how they decide to IRL trade. You know, I'm pretty sure, like I said before, like I showed before, when you know there was the methods, people try to hide it in many different ways. For instance, like through the bazaar, trades, or the AH is pretty damn obvious what's going on. I think the biggest issue is that, for instance, if you're a newer player and you've got a friend who wants to help you out a little bit, at what point does it get flagged as pretty much being IRL trading or boosting? While boosting isn't a good thing, I don't think it's terrible if you have a friend who's later on in the game and you've just started and they want to help you out just a little bit, nothing over the top. There's so many different things to consider, which is probably why some people end up getting away with it. There's so many issues, from the way the coins are obtained to what impact it has on everyone playing the game. You know, people losing their accounts, losing items, losing money, getting scammed, getting ratted, to pretty much ruining the economy in the game. IRL trading is a huge issue, and the fact that it stems from maybe some people not wanting to pay what they perceive as expensive prices from Hypixel, honestly is just kinda sad. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.